Hello there, welcome to North Knives. I haven't done a little update in a while, so I thought I'd show you what I've been up to. So let's get into it. So yesterday I heat treated 6 knives. They're all SF100 stainless steel, made in Sheffield, and I'm just freezing them. I froze them overnight. I'm gonna leave them in there until I get to them. So this one's a rework of an old design. This is a new design. It's going to be sort of like a Santoku. This one's another new Kleber design. And those three are the sort of 6-inch chef knife design that I do. So that's one thing. Dreaded tax return. So this is what I've been on with this afternoon. Matt's knife's been on the back burner for a little while, but I'm back to it today, and I'm gonna hopefully have it all ready to glue up. So that's what I'm getting ready for. Okay, so I've got the knife, I've got the scales, and I've got my scales flat, apparently, and I've got my pin stock. So what I really wanted this side, I wanted this side to be that side, sort of the front side with the logo, if you will, but there's not a lot of wiggle room on these scales for this size of handle, so if I put it that way, it meant that it would have been higher up here, and this sort of pore in the resin would have been sort of cut out at a weird place, so I wanted to get that sort of central. This is the other side. So what that's meant is that's actually going to be the other side. So it's going to go somewhere like that. And yeah, I used to drill my scales, I used to drill straight through both of them, and it works pretty well, but sometimes the fit of the scales to the tang of the knife wasn't always like 100% perfect, and so I mean, what the benefit of that, you put them both together, make sure they're lined up, yeah, the right side, you put the knife on, you drill through them, everything together, it means your scales they're perfectly butt matched when you look through the spine of the knife, or you look through it like that way. It's all where it's meant to be. But as I say, the fit isn't always perfect, so what I'm doing is one at a time, and this is the first time I've done it one at a time where I've got liners on. So what I would normally do is I wouldn't be lining it up on this side, I'd just be lining it up on this side where I wanted it on the wood, but all I've got is purple liner, so I'll add that to work with. So I'm blind, if you will. I wouldn't know where I wanted the scale, so this is sort of really guesstimation, but I'm trying to make an educated guess. So I lined it up where I wanted it on this side, and then I've drawn little lines where I've wanted various points that have helped me line it up, so that I think that that's about right, and hopefully it is. And so what I'm going to do now is clamp up this side, clamp it up like that, and drill through it, and then after that I'm going to have to do the same on this side. And this time, what I need to make sure I'm taking the same part of this scale as I am of this, so that they look book matched when they're done. And it is going to be a little bit of guesswork, but hopefully it'll all come out right. And I'm not going to know until it's glued up and I've ground out. I'm not going to know if it is perfect or not, but it should be alright. I'll spend a bit of time making sure I've got this. Right, so I'm going to get this clamped up and drilled through. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. I use these Cant twist clamps, which well, they're made in the US, so they were quite expensive to get here in the UK, but they're good for this job. It is, if you were just clamping to the scale, this process would be a lot easier, but I also recommend clamping to a bit of sacrificial wood. These scales are fairly thin, so I put the liner on as well. If you had really thick scales, maybe it wouldn't matter so much, but if I got a big tear out on this side, that would be bad. So if you put the wood there, you won't. I haven't got a tear out yet, so fingers crossed. Okay, next step for me is I spend too long probably obsessing over whether the drill's gonna go straight through the tang. So what I have got a little angle gauge, but it's on the end of the tang, and I've also got like a square, but it's with the clamps in the way. Sometimes it works out nicely, sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, I've got a slight shim of just a folded bit of paper basically, and I think that's going to be right, so I'll do that. Okay, so that's drilled. It's looking hopefully about right where I wanted it. So, on to the next side. Okay, so I used a few carried on the lines from the other side, and then I realised I had this Marksman, which I think I saw on Dragon's Den originally or something. But anyway, yeah, I just stuck this one on top, lined it up, and that's like a green chalk spray, which worked pretty well. It wasn't perfect, maybe I should have scratched it with a marker or something. Anyway, looking pretty close, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna get this side clamped up and drill it. So, I lied earlier actually. You do find out whether you've done it properly pretty quickly. Apart from the fact these scales weren't perfectly square with each other because I've cut out the liners and stuff. It's pretty close. At least 99% there, so yeah, I'm pretty confident that is gonna look completely book matched. And yeah, I'm happy with where it's come out. It's gonna look like on that side. Yeah, I think that's gonna look good. Yep, so Matty, I've got a bit more to do, but I'll hopefully get these glued up today. So, just something I wanted to add, I might save someone some time, save me a lot of time, is the holes for the pins. say I had 6mm pin stock, which is what this is. I'd drill a 6mm hole, and then this is through the tang of the knife and through the scales, and then I'd spend quite a lot of time. This isn't 6mm, but reducing the size of the pin stock down so you can see a slight colour change there. That end would have been in the drill, then I spin it and go through various grits of sandpaper, bringing it down in size and keep test fitting it until it fit. And that worked pretty well, maybe a little bit inconsistent, but I normally got good results without being too tight or too sloppy, like with a ring. You get like a black ring, a little glue ring around when it's not quite right. Anyway, so with 6mm example, I had these drill bits, 5.5, 6, 6.5. Obviously, if you go 6.5, it is going to leave a big gap and it's going to be horrible. But I found these 6.1 is what I use, 6.1mm drill bit, and I did a few test runs, and now that's what I do. And I've got all the pin stock sizes that I carry, or at least most of them. I've got just like 0.1mm up, and it works really well, and it's probably saved me maybe half an hour every knife that I do, so it saved me a lot of time. Hopefully it saves someone else some time. Okay, yep, next step, I'm going to cut these out, and I am going to do both sides together now, just around this, but I'm going to stay on the outside of that line, and because I've got G10 liners, which is like fiberglass and epoxy, I'm going to use the metal cutting bandsaw, not the wood cutting bandsaw. So yeah, I'll do that now. Okay, so looking good. This is where we're up to. And this is the area I need to work on now, so first I'll get it the shape I want it. And then I'm going to put some angles in, and after that I'm going to get it fully up to the finish that I want, so I'll take it up through the grits to 2,500 grit, and then I'll buff it. And then next step after that is I can't do this one-handed. I'll take these apart, and I'll be drilling holes on the inside for little pockets for the epoxy to sit in. Yeah, so I'll get on with that front edge now. So this is straight off the belt grinder. I do each side separately, so you have to make sure they're nice and even. I went up to 400 grit, so now I'm going to go hand sanding, but I'm going to start again at 400 grit. All the way through the grits up to 2,500, and then I'm going to buff it. And the main thing with this part is just to be consistent, whatever you do to this is what you're gonna do to the rest, so that it matches up when it's finished. That's 2,500 grit. Now I'm gonna go and buff it now, but honestly that's quite a nice finish. If you don't have a buffing wheel, you could leave it like that, or you could probably go up to, you know, once you're up to 2,500, it feels like grit sandpaper. It feels like polishing anyway. So you can, there's higher and higher grits, and you just basically polishing a shiny thing. I'm gonna buff it now anyway, see how it comes out. Alrighty then, yes, I thought I was gonna get this baby glued up, but it's actually 5:30, and what I am gonna do is I'm gonna come back out. I'm gonna get it glued up tonight, because once I've got this far, even though the wood's stabilised and there's liners on it and all that, I don't want it to move. If I start flattening it now, if it did move and I had to flatten it, you know, I'd probably write them off. So once I've got to this stage, I like to get it done. So I'll put the pins in it and I'll clamp it up. But yeah, the scales are ready basically. Probably need to clean off some of that compound, but yeah, that's all buffed for both front. It's gonna look really nice. Holes are drilled, scales are already sort of keyed up. I do need to knock this sort of off where I've drilled. I'll do that, and then yeah, the main thing I need to do is finish sanding the actual blade itself. So here it is wrapped up, and yeah, I need to finish sanding that on both sides on 400 grit, and I get everything cleaned up, and unless I've forgotten something, that'll be me ready. Yep. So I'll come back later and do that. Okay, so this step's fairly simple. I've taped the back of the blade, and I'm going to do the logo side, sand that first, and I'm just going to use 400 grit sandpaper I've got there, and then I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. So I've gone super slowly there. Probably took more time than I needed, but it's really annoying if you start making mistakes at this stage. But yeah, I want long straight lines going along the blade. Anyway, yeah, it's looking good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get out the vise, and I'm going to clean it up, make sure all the scratches are, I'm happy with the direction, it's all looking good, and then next step actually, I then need to scratch up the tang with the heavier grit to sort of key it up, and I do need to do around this area. So what I do there is I get the scales done, I'll unclamp them, and I'm very careful to make sure I don't scratch beyond where the scale's going to cover, and you know, if you do, you're back to hand sanding the blade again. So that's that side keyed up. Being very careful to stay behind where the scale's going to cover, and that's just for the glue makes a strong bond. So I'll do the other side now. So what I've done there, I keyed up both sides of the tang. I've keyed up the pins. I've kind of keyed up these because just taking off the little burr that forms when you drill into them, just making sure it's going to be completely flat, mating with the knife properly. So yeah, I do believe I am ready to go inside and glue up, so everything will get a really good clean before it gets glued up. And yeah, so thanks for watching. I have got other videos on gluing a knife up if you want to see that. So I think I'll leave this one here. Yeah, thanks again for watching. Take care. I'll see you guys soon.